Hello! Welcome back to the Wrestling Newsroom. I'm your host, All Things Wrestling, and today we're going to be looking at all the wrestling news from Tuesday. We start with what names were at Survivor Series. The following names were reportedly backstage at WWE Survivor Series: UFC Hall of Famer Tito Ortiz, Ric Flair, Rikishi, Sean Waltman / X-Pac, Mark Henry, Candice Michelle, Darren Young, Lillian Garcia, Dean Ambrose, Becky Lynch were all reportedly there. Obviously Ambrose never appeared, and Becky Lynch and Alexa Bliss were reportedly having their concussion tests done, but we have no results for them as of yet. But let's hope they're good news. Let's just hope. But they're pretty decent names. Surprised to see a few names there. Like Darren Young got released, so why is he backstage? Interesting. And then reportedly, coming from Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful.com, AJ Styles is currently negotiating a new WWE contract. He's looking, apparently, for a reduced schedule, which is similar to Randy Orton, where he will do all the television appearances but have a limited live event dates. He also reportedly pushed to drop the WWE title so he could spend time with his family. But Mike Johnson of PW Insider Elite has also given his side of this, saying there's a lot of talk that he's negotiating, but his actual contract doesn't end until April 2019. But obviously he will be negotiating a contract now. Obviously he's making a lot of money. He's in the top 1% of people in the company making the money, so don't really see him going anywhere else, but looking for a better deal. Let's hope you get AJ. And then, just a little bit more of Starrcade. It will stream this Sunday on the WWE Network at 5 Eastern, 5 Pacific. It will be 1 hour, and it's in Cincinnati, Ohio. So yeah, it's going to be pretty good. I'll probably live stream it. Then we have some good and bad news coming from Monday Night Raw. Obviously announced that Baron Corbin will face Braun Strowman at TLC in a TLC match. If Strowman wins, he gets Universal title shot against Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble. If Corbin wins, he'll become permanent general manager, but if will not be GM if he loses. But from that, Strowman got attacked and is wrote off TV. Apparently he's dealing with a legitimate angle, and this was done to write him off. He's got bone spurs in his elbow that is in the destroyed elbow that they did on this week's Monday Night Raw. He's going for elbow surgery. He may or may not be back for TLC, but hopefully he'll be fine for Royal Rumble to face Brock Lesnar. So we'll have to wait and see with Strowman, but please get better, Strowman. Please get better. We need you, Strowman. We need you. Then, Enzo Amore has been banned from the Staples Center. His picture with his real name is at the entrance. He is banned from yesterday's Raw and tonight's SmackDown. Ha ha ha. Banned. I love it. Oh, and Jim Cornette gave his thoughts and opinion on Enzo Amore. From what I heard about his standing in the locker room, I bet the entire roster they had ejected Amore out with a cannon instead of by hand. He's not very liked, apparently. Then we have why Shawn Michaels shaved his head. Before this storyline started, I was doing a movie. I did this independent movie in Texas where I played a younger version with my hair. Then I played an older version of me that got sick and everything. So that's why I ended up shaving it for the movie. And then I got called in to do this thing. And I thought, do you know what? Hunter has got his head bald. I'm just going to go ahead and leave it that way. It was thinning up there anyway, man. So it was just better to chop it all off. And now it's gotten to where my wife's like, Edge and Christian know this sorts of stuff much easier to manage. Oh, where my wife likes it, and Edge and Christian know the short stuff makes it easier to manage. And then Becky Lynch and Chris Jericho had an exchange of words on Twitter. Chris Jericho went, "Congrats to WWE for making women's wrestlers hottest thing in WWE. Who's headlining WrestleMania? At Becky Lynch, at Ronda Rousey, #Nia, #Charlotte." And then the man, Becky Lynch, amazing, said, nope, that was me. And then he said, yeah, for sure, with insistence of Nia Jax for breaking your face, of course. And she went, a sucker punch drew blood for sure. Little known fact, I actually got a concussion from trying to listen to your last album. I love it. Even though we know Becky was hella over and mega over way before this whole situation happened anyway. But yeah, I find that quite funny. And then Brian Alvarez of Wrestling Observer newsletter answered a fan question regarding Roman Reigns' status for WrestleMania 35. There is no plans for Reigns at WrestleMania, if that's what you mean as far as wrestling at WrestleMania. But as far as he's doing well, you know they're going to keep everything a secret. We're not going to know for a long time. And Dean Ambrose did a controversial reference to Roman Reigns having leukemia on Raw. He brought up how the Shield needed to pay for their sins. Reigns is now having to answer to the man upstairs. Very controversial, that is. Dave Meltzer did explain who'd be responsible for getting the line on television. He went, you can't blame the writer because of this thing goes into production meetings and there's 20 people in the production meeting, okay? The head guy is Vince McMahon. So you have all these producers and you have Vince McMahon. You have all these filters to go through. It went through every single filter. Yes, you can fire the writer, but you have to fire everyone else that it went through. At the end of the day, all of these things, every word that's written, all of the things like that, the approval has gone through Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is the one responsible for every line, every angle, or everything. Writers can come up with the stupidest things in the world and you can fire them, but this thing went through way too many filters to just fire the writers. And, okay, it's a very controversial line, but come on. They have done way more controversial stuff. I'm not justifying that Dean Ambrose and WWE are in the right to use this in the situation, but look at what they've used in the past. This is tame compared to the likes of using Eddie Guerrero's death, bloody Katie Vick, Big Boss Man stealing Big Show's dad's casket. There's so much shit in the history of WWE that is so bad. So, yeah, it's wrestling. That's all I can say. I'm guaranteeing they got approval from Reigns. You don't just bring up like somebody like that without having approval from the person before. So yeah, Reigns would have signed off on this. It's going to make the angle better. Just let's just chill and let it get on with it. But yeah, as always, if you have enjoyed this newsroom, please give this video a like. Please support me on Patreon, link in the description below. Subscribe for some more content, and I'll catch you later. Bye.